Hi, I'm Kevin Kelly, and thanks again for tuning into The Buzzbubble, where we pick the brains of great minds in advertising. This week, we get into the head of Perry Fair, Digital Executive Creative Director at Gray Worldwide. Perry's one of the premier talents in digital advertising today. He spent time working at some of the greatest agencies in the country, from Wieden Kennedy to Chiat Day, before landing here in New York with Gray. You've seen his amazing integrated work online and in broadcast with brands like DirecTV, Gatorade, Hess, NFL, and my favorite car launch campaign ever, the Nissan Cube. We also got an inside look at Gray, New York, with a personal guided tour through one of the most historic agencies in advertising. Join me as we climb into the Buzzbubble and examine the brain of Perry Fair right now. So Perry, thanks so much for climbing into the Buzzbubble with me today. I really appreciate it. And I want to blame or credit Rob Schwartz with connecting us.
I'll get him later.
And Rob had a couple questions to ask, but he really wanted to start with some hair questions, he said, well, take me through Perry's, beginnings in advertising through landing here at Gray. He said, when I hired Perry, he had dreadlocks, and he left LA, he was bald, so.
Yeah, that's the advertising world. Yeah, when I think I met Rob, I had dreadlocks to my shoulders, and when I left, they were all gone. So yeah, it's been a nice evolution, not only in my career but in my appearance too.
So where did you get started in the business? No, you said you interned at Wieden Kennedy.
I interned at Wieden Kennedy. No, I used to write junkets for a play called Greater Tuna and the Barnum and Bailey Circus at a company called Susan Jacobs Incorporated.
Okay.
And then from there, I went to Henderson and Drake in Atlanta, Tausche Mountain Lonsdorf, then to Wieden Kennedy.
Okay.
So I did the rounds, but yeah, I used to write press junkets, and then drive around in my beat up Toyota. I wasn't even Toyota. It was a Chevy Celebrity, handing out cans of tuna and a press kit.
Okay.
Yeah, good time. Those were the good old days.
And from there, headed to WK to write some Nike spots.
And it's weird when they first called me, it's like a little known secret. I thought it was a joke for one of my friends. I actually hung up on them, and they actually had to call me back and say, "No, really, it's Wieden Kennedy." Like,
sorry
okay.
About that. Signal.
Yeah, and I had a great time. I met some of the greatest influences in my life and my career, and it's weird. I'm actually friends with them all now.
Yeah.
Which is like, I met Jimmy Smith, Jamie Barrett, Mike Foligno, Chuck McBride, and Joe Shantz.
Wow.
Yeah, those are the people I used to get coffee for. So
a good start.
Yeah.
And then from there, what was the road over to Chiat?
Yeah, it was a long windy road.
Between.
Yeah, I did a stint at Burrell, and then I went to an agency called the True Agency. I went to Element 79. Then I went back to the True Agency, and then I ended up at Chiat. So I'm giving a very abridged portion of that. I spent a lot of time in LA. I spent a lot of time in Chicago.
Okay. And how long were you working with Rob?
Rob and I have known each other for a really long. I don't even think Rob could tell you how long we've known each other. We've always been like the two ships passing in the night. Like, I want to come work at Chiat, I'm going to Chicago. It's been really weird. I've known Rob for, I would almost say almost 10 years. I think it's been 10 years. He might correct me on that one.
Okay.
But he's been a great mentor. We've been friends for quite a long time. He's one of the few guys I feel like we can have an honest conversation about like the work, but also kind of just on the state of the industry as a whole. Right. I don't know, Rob, if you see this, Facebook me. Tell me, how long have we known each other?
I will let him. We'll insert a little webcam of Rob telling us how long it's been.
I don't even know how I know Perry. All I know is that the guy hung around outside my office in LA for about 6 weeks, and he said he wouldn't leave until we hired him. And we checked out his book, and we hired him.
And you said you worked on Nissan while you were there.
Yeah, I was a creative director of Nissan North America for a little over a year at Chiat and 3 to 4 years at True.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I want to get to it later, but the Cube, where were you when you worked on it?
I did the Cube at Shite, the Cube mobile device campaign.
Okay.
Probably one of the coolest campaigns I ever got a chance to work on. It was really fun to do.
I don't know the rest of it, but it's really on my coolest ever seen list. So I want to go through that when we get to it. And then the trip from there, to where you are here at Gray today.
Yep. Windy road, but I met Tor at Chai. So, I've respected him for a really long time. He and I have quietly always kept in contact. So it's one of the few things, most people don't know this, I got this job on Facebook. So Tor and I talked on Facebook before we even had a real...
the social networks.
Yeah, social network. So it's this irony that I'm the digital ECD. Like, how'd you get the job? I got it online, dude.
There's no more 6 degrees between us and Kevin Bacon. It's like,
nope, we're all
2 Facebook friends and you're there. So Rob has some questions that he wanted to pass on. He asked one thing that we say at BigBuzz a lot: what's next? So, the big question. So Facebook and Twitter and apps, and he's asking you to tell us what's next.
Here's the weird part. I'm not gonna say I have a crystal ball. I don't know. I don't know what's next. It's the weird part. It's like I get a lot of clients ask the same question. And a part of me wants to say I think it's an evolution of what we currently have. Mm-hmm. I think Facebook may play a bigger role, but the most exciting part of what we do is not knowing what's next. Who knew 2 years ago Twitter would be this big? I mean, It's like if somebody told you anything, Facebook you 5 years ago, you're like,
what does that mean? Is that a verb?
Or even were you on Foursquare? I mean, that's the part that for me is the most exciting part of where we are right now in the space, is that you don't know what's next. And that's the part that, I don't want to be the arrogant guy, but it's going to be all about it. Right. I don't know what the is. So
it's like, I hear people say, well, I'm a social media expert. Well, it's like 4 days old.
Yeah.
How are you an expert?
Yeah, it's weird. I get that a lot when we interview people, or even when I meet people. It's like, if anyone tells you that they are a digital, social, viral, whatever the hell they want to tell you expert, they're lying. Right. No one is an expert, and no one knows. If you knew, you wouldn't be working. You would be somewhere in the. You'd be Zuckerberg somewhere.
Venture capital. Here's what's next. Just write this down and give me, 27 million. The other Rob question was technology-based. It was the 3D world. What do you think about that? Do you think it's real? Do you think it's tangible?
It is. I don't think it's going anywhere. That's the one thing I think 3D is here to stay. And the weird part is, I use this as an example. So I'll go and see, good Lord, Shrek. Mm-hmm. with my kids, and we get it on DVD, or we can get it on DVD. We downloaded it, so we're watching it on demand. And literally, the movie's coming on, and my 5-year-old gets up and she starts looking around the sofa, and she's like, she leaves the room, comes back. I'm like, honey, what are you looking for? And she looks at me and says, well, I can't watch this without my glasses. So that to me was literally this. I'm like, and my kids will never know what a movie looks like when it first comes out without 3D glasses. They've seen every major feature film in 3D.
It's amazing.
And my 3-year-old just literally has no clue of what a regular feature looks like. And they don't even know they don't even watch TV on the same mindset. They wake up and say, can I watch X? Right. Like it's just magically on TV. So, and when that came out, we're like, oh, it's not going to replace, everybody's going to watch TV normally. Yeah, not really. Yeah. But 3D is I keep wondering when they're going to evolve into other aspects of our life. But from a theatrical perspective and even some of the augmented reality pieces, I don't think it's going anywhere. Now, let's call it the technology race. When you looked at, back in the day when HD and Blu-ray or Beta and VHS,
right.
Like what is the technology that will rule the day? It's pretty much the one that the major companies invest the most money into. And for me, I look at like the most theatrical companies, or most theater, Paramount, Sony's and whatnot, have invested huge amounts of capital into, their technology. So when they release on, there's a certain way you want to kind of monetize, or even theaters. They need to monetize their investment. So whatever, and it sounds really corny, whatever porn is investing in is pretty much going to be the thing, because they dump so much money into, the future of technology, quietly, that whatever they decide they want to go with, people tend to just go and do anyway.
That's where everybody's getting all their information, babe. You look at the porn industry, say, that's the next thing. So Rob, that's what's next. Just go watch.
Well, think about it.
porn.
Like when VHS and Beta were fighting, porn everywhere. They went VHS, and that literally determined the future of that. Even though Beta was a better technology.
So there's your answers, Rob. We'll give you a moment to rebut.
No, I don't spend a lot of time looking at porn. I just think the industry is
research.
It's research. It's research.
That's it for part 1 with Perry Fair. Take a look at what's coming up on part 2.
Let's talk about the work.
Okay. We've had Hess for 26 years at Gray, and we're making their first iPad, iPhone, and Facebook game, as well as Gray's first iPad, Facebook, and iPhone game.
The DirecTV spot with the 2 robots fighting and the new tag.
Yeah. Well, most people don't know there are 3 spots. There's Robot, we call it MRV, and then there's Submarine, which is for best in quality, best picture, best sound. And there's another one I can't even tell you. Nissan allowed for one of the most integrated campaigns I've ever watched go to market, and Cube mobile device was it.
Next week on The Buzzbubble.